Welcome back, Warriors. We are now going to have another episode on our Vigor Warriors channel and 1% Club. So welcome to another one of our meetings and talking about another great topic. Again, thank you for the subscriptions and comments and likes and those type of things. I take a lot of the comments and ideas you guys use and I try to build videos on it. This one I promised one of our new subscribers, and if I get their name wrong, I apologize. Please correct me. Yaya Osman, who sent us a great question on stress, anxiety, and depression. So we're going to delve into that in a second. Also had some interesting comments about how all of a sudden you're getting a lot more attraction, female attraction, when you don't care. And I think it's really kind of a ironic thing in life, my friends. We're taught as young people, especially males, that we're supposed to be going ahead and chasing a female and earning, their love and affection and things like that. Well, to me, that was all a bunch of BS malarkey, right? What you have to do is realize that we're all human beings. And what you bring to the table is just as valuable as the person next to you. And so, when you don't chase after things, psychologically, those things come to you a lot easier. But when you chase things, it's almost like you're putting pressure on yourself to do that. And I probably will do a video on this too. But it's great, interesting to note that people are responding and saying that when they don't try, all of a sudden, things happen. Now they're getting hit up and things like that. And that's the amazing benefits of the retention as well, because you are more confident, you're more natural, and other people notice that. And that you don't really seem to care as much because you realize that you're going to end up getting all that attention, and it's a lot easier when you have your purpose and your control. So keep going, my friends. Great news, great work, and I'm going to continue highlighting these type of things. So now our question again, back to Yaya Osman, who sent us a great question focusing on stress and tension, anxiety, things like that. Now, in the Bible, as in a lot of different religious types of books, we talk about the fact is that people should not be worrying, they should not have stress, they should not have all kinds of anxiety. I think it's Matthew 6 or something like that, and I'll probably put the link in it below, or at least the quote below. It says, "Have no thought for tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself." Now, we do know 8% of the things that we worry about, most of those things aren't going to happen. 92% don't happen. Only 8% of the things we worry about ever happen. So why do we have all this kind of stress? Why do we hurt ourselves so much? You realize the word stress, well, the word disease really indicates a uneasy feeling of the mind. So much of disease and illness comes from the stress that's created in your mind. A lot of things happen because people are stressed out. This is such a huge problem in our society, with people on the go so much, with technology like it is, so many people working, families all working, people are always gone. It is a tough thing not to get caught up in stress. I had that major problem when I was a young person, right? I had lots of things going on at home, a lot of things around me back then, and I had thoughts of ending it all as well. So those type of things come through it. So I can relate, my friends. I can relate a lot. I had to go see counseling when I was in college years because I had struggled. I struggled with identity problems, shyness. I struggled with trying to kind of get the truth of what was really happening. And this is why I probably spent all these years since then trying to become a better person and figuring out the truth in the world of what's really happening. Because you're given a lot of ideas and expectations that I couldn't meet. I wasn't that kind of person. So the idea is that you're going to have a lot of things happen in your life are highly stressful. You can have depression very easily, anxiety, but I think the thing that helped me all these years, and yes, I did have some success with the Fountain of Youth, and I would definitely highly recommend those exercises. But number 6 in those exercises is the one that started turning things around for me as far as a whole enlightenment of what's happening, and that was retention. And so when you look at the whole idea of looking at saying, okay, how can I battle depression? How can I battle anxiety? How can I battle these type of things, right? And it all comes back down to the whole idea is having plan goals, having ideas of what you are, what you want to do, and not really caring that much about what's going to happen. You also have to have the faith to know that things will work out well. Now, this is not only the faith in the God, and I believe in the Lord, but also in faith in yourself. You have to understand that you're on the right plan. If you're on this purpose, whatever your final outcome is, I mean, a lot of people start this because they want to, kind of control this behavior. But really, when you talk about this, to master yourself, that's why you're part of the 1% Club. It doesn't happen very often. And it's a very hard thing to do. Because what you're doing is you're rising above saying, I'm not going to get caught up like a lot of people do in what's happening around the world. See, the whole idea is that you can't live for the world. You have to be able to focus on something different that's not part of this world. And that's why it's very difficult to take yourself out of the world and realize that you can't be that stressed out and you can't have that much anxiety, and you have to be able to reduce that and control it. So stress creates illnesses, in my opinion. Stress creates a lot of maladies, ideas, and what you really want to do is become a very peaceful, low stress, but high driven person. And that is very difficult because you're going to get answers of no. You're going to have periods of time that it's going to feel like the world is collapsing on you, right? Well, how do you handle all that? All right, let's get into this a little bit. So you do feel weak, right? You do feel like that you're not as strong. And this is why I talk about those vampires who are your emotional suckers who basically just take and drain your time away, okay? And they drain your emotional energy. Then, of course, you have the succubuses who actually drain your physical energy. So as I was thinking about this for a long time, it really came to my mind that, I was dealing okay with the emotional part of it. And vampires that I had my run here and there over the years. But it was really the physical succubuses that I struggled with. The whole idea that you have to control your energy within. Now, an amazing thing's been happening, and this is I'm on 10-day of monk mode, and also 480 some days, 484 or 5 days of just regular, no FAP and those kind of things, and retention. And the understanding I've had is realizing that with your level of confidence, I have very little stress, very little anxiety anymore and things to happening. I just know it will work out, and that's not to say that I don't still feel stress. We all feel stress. We have to have some level of stress to kind of motivate ourselves and move around. But it's not a point where it's really kind of debilitating. And I know when I teach speech and public speaking, we have what they call speech anxiety. So people who go up to the board, can't give a speech in front of people, to them this is like death. And the same thing when you're meeting people, the same kind of thing. And so you have to kind of go through some exercises in your mind to be able to focus on how do I handle this anxiety. Now remember, guys, part of the anxiety comes from your own thought pattern. Now, whether the threat is real or it's perceived, you have something there that is making you feel like you don't want to be there. Now, maybe afraid of rejection. You may be afraid of things happening that's going to happen in the future that may or may not happen. But you've got to go through what they call a systematic desensitization. And if you're interested, I can probably kind of talk about this as a whole different episode of of this. But the idea is that you have to kind of visualize in your mind and create a picture in which you're really trying to feel calm and relaxed. Visioning a picture of calm waters and peaceful settings. And get yourself in a peaceful state of mind. This is why meditation becomes really important when you're stressed out. Praying becomes really important when you stress out. Because you're trying to reduce that anxiety you have of situations. And you're trying to get to the point where now you feel relaxed enough to be able to solve the situation. Now, you're still going to be bombarded. I mean, this is the way life is right now for many of us. You're bombarded by people asking you for things, demanding different things, all that sort of thing. You're going to be bombarded, okay? In fact, as we were talking about before, the more you end up going on your own way, the more the people come after you. As I said, the vampires, the succubuses, they're all going to be hitting you up, my friends, because they want your energy. They want your attention. They want you to give them your energy. And you can just know this, even from an emotional standpoint. Try to listen to somebody for an hour and not say anything. You are drained. It's almost like that person came in and sucked that energy right out of you. And when it comes to stress, the lower energy you have, the more you're vulnerable. And this is exactly what happened to me as I was going through life. I realized that the periods of time that I felt stress was because I had very little energy. Now, once again, I felt it was a misunderstanding again. I thought that when I was stressed out, that this is the time to release, one way or the other, to make myself happier, right? But I wasn't happy, guys. I might have been happy for a couple seconds there, but then as soon as I did it, whether it was a person or not, I felt miserable again. Even worse, because now I was draining my energy and I wasn't able to combat the issue. Guys, when you hit a number of days, you feel like Superman. And that's where I'm moving in that direction. I can understand why Muhammad Ali did this. I can understand why Mike Tyson did this. I can understand why Tesla did this. I can understand why, lots of famous people did this. The Stoics did it. The warriors did it. Because the bottom line is you feel superhuman. Because you have this power that's residing in you that you're not letting go. You're not just throwing away. And we have too many beta males out there and simps who basically have lost their confidence. No wonder there's a high level of anxiety. So I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not an easy thing. But once again, we are part of the 1% club. And being part of that 1% club means that you have to be able to say, okay, yes, I've had problems before. And I've had loads of them over the years. But I know that by my first retention and my journey, that I'm able to control myself enough, get a level of confidence where I'm not anxious anymore. My anxiety level is dropping. And you'll see this, guys, the longer you're on this. And think about this. When you have very little nutrients in your body, yes, you're going to be more edgety. You're going to have edge on you. You're going to have more nervousness. You're going to have more worry. Of course you are. Because you've lost that. It's like you have half energy. Of course these things are going to affect you a lot more. But if you keep your energy, if you start that way, start with confidence with that. And all of a sudden start saying to yourself, okay, I'm gonna just envision a great day. I'm not going to let this stuff bother me any longer. I'm going to make amends to have goals and do things so I'm not caught up with all this other stuff that's going on in my life. And this way, you're not going to have problems with people or other things that create stress. Now, you also have to get rid of things and people around you that create the stress. And that's something you're going to do. But guys, remember, the more you do this, the more stuff you have as energy, the more you're going to be able to rise up and say, no more of this. No more of this. I'm going to have courage enough. And I guess that's the thing I'm saying. You will get courage to not be stressed out, to not have anxiety, not be depressed because you don't have a reason. Now you have life. And life is abundant. And life is great. All right, so thank you, Yaya, for that great question. And once again, different questions come by. I'm going to answer them different ways to focus on trying to help you guys. But good luck. Don't worry about the depression. Just keep moving ahead. Keep on your purpose. And eventually, the depression will go away. I am almost guaranteed because that's what happened to me. All right, till next time, guys. Carry on.